All right, so welcome to the video. This is Jason from freefromvacationfees.com. Now, if you want to get out of your timeshare, this is likely going to be probably one of the most valuable videos that you've watched because I'm going to explain the three main ways to get out of your timeshare and the best way among those three. I'm on my notepad here and just follow along whether you're watching this on YouTube or on your iPhone or right off our website. Take a look. So, first thing people do, and this is an option, is you can certainly try to call your timeshare company, which you'll hear a lot of experts recommend this because they say it's a free way to get out. All right? But as we all know about free things or free solutions, they tend to be a pain in the ass. And there's a reason for this. Think back to when you actually bought your timeshare, and this could have been a while. A lot of people bought them back, actually way back in the 80s, some in the 90s, and some have only owned for about 10 years or so. And timeshare actually used to be a pretty good thing. But how was it sold to you? Well, generally speaking, the salesman made one primary claim that if you ever wanted to get out, you could either, one, pass it on to your family because it would be a good what? It would be a good investment for them, or they said you could sell it to get out. And they made you believe that basically everybody would want one and people would pay you money and you could recoup your initial investment, and so the story goes. That is the way that most timeshare salesmen hook people into getting their timeshares, and it's just been the standard practice for the past 30 years, ever since timeshare started out. And again, back in the 80s, the late 70s, and even into the 90s, actually, people would buy timeshares fairly regularly. But now the stats are that less than 1% resell. Okay, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But long story short, if you contact your timeshare company most likely is not going to take it back from you. Now go ahead and try. It doesn't matter who you own with. If you own with Wyndham, Diamond, Westgate, very few timeshares are actually taken back. Don't take my word for it. Give it a try. It is a free solution, but it will end up being a pain in the ass. The reason being is that now your timeshare company needs to move that property again. So they got to try to sell it to somebody else. And that's not always the easiest thing to do. So they would just as soon keep you roped in to your contract and not let you out. Okay? Which leads us to the second method. You can go about trying to sell your timeshare on your own. Okay? Or you could go with a listing company. A lot of people choose that, and they'll pay a fee of somewhere around, well, the average fee, I don't even know what the average is off the top of my head, but it's probably somewhere around $1,000 or so to go with a listing company who, once again, it's a very scammy industry, who once again is going to tell you something along the lines of, list with us for $1,000 or $500 or $1,500 or whatever, and we will sell your timeshare for you. Okay? And that's what they do. And they'll go about trying to list it or whatever. But long story short, it's typically for an upfront fee. They're going to get your money. But then it's all going to come back to the fact that less than 1% of timeshares resell. And those stats are even becoming harder and harder these days as we go past 2019 into 2020 and beyond. It's getting far, far harder. So maybe you've tried to sell on your own. Maybe you've had a listing company try to sell your timeshare. It is really hard, and let me show you one of the reasons why. Let me go right back out here into Google. We'll bring up when people try to sell their timeshares, what are they going to do? They're going to come to Google. They're going to type in something along the lines of sell my timeshare or sell a timeshare or whatever they might type in. But what are you going to come across? Lots and lots and lots of info from listing companies and other people giving their advice. But what you're not going to see is the number one piece of pertinent info out there. And you're not going to, and that is a website, which you won't see is a website called ebay.com. As of the posting of this video, ebay.com is, and I know most of you have heard of it, ebay.com is the number one timeshare listing site on the entire internet. All you got to do is come and go timeshares. Give it a minute here to catch up. Timeshares. Oh, there it goes. For sale. And this is what people do when they want to buy timeshares. Essentially, when they want to basically get timeshares for $1 or under $300. There are some expensive ones listing here, but they generally do not elicit any action. Like this one for $35,000, nobody's going to buy that. You can see it, you can check it out. Nobody's going to buy it. It's just owners who don't know that nobody's going to buy it. Here's one for 99 cents. Essentially, these properties, these are nice properties. Okay, let me click on one. $1.25 initial bid. Basically, people just trying to give the thing away. Nice properties. You know, go through all the properties, your standard timeshare, your slots. I won't go through all the details. But there are thousands upon thousands of these listings on eBay and other websites that people are basically trying to give away for free, and they still can't give them away. $1, there's $500, there's $1, there's $1, there's $5. These are minimum bids that people will consider just to get the timeshare off their hands. And look, I can scroll down. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because it's pointless. This goes for hundreds of pages. There's thousands upon thousands of timeshares listed for sale, and nice properties. Okay, let me go here to my notes. Very nice properties. But they still don't resell because there's so many. And also, what? Nobody wants the maintenance fees. So, if you are trying to get out of your timeshare, the number one piece of advice is, if you're thinking of selling, don't ever pay a listing company to try to resell it, because all they're going to do is post it on eBay and it's not going to resell. At least less than 1% will. You're better off just listing it by yourself on eBay and giving it a shot. But what you're going to find is that almost never is it going to resell. Very, very few resell, and you're going to be stuck in maintenance fees for the next year, 2 years, 3 years before you realize that it won't resell. Or you can take the third method, and the third method is not talked about a lot. It just isn't, because it's very simple, and quite frankly, listing companies and timeshare resorts and other companies don't want you to know about it because it's generally a far easier solution, and that is called a transfer. And with a transfer, all you're doing is the most important thing. Keep in mind, you are not going to recoup any money. In fact, generally, you are going to pay an upfront fee for a company to transfer your ownership away from the timeshare, and that's all you're doing. You're transferring ownership, and you do that. That's what a transfer company does. It just goes about selling. Only it's basically a selling alternative. It does the same thing that selling does, getting your name off of that ownership, only it does it through a simple transfer. Okay, and generally a reputable company is going to guarantee that you get out. Okay, and it's that simple. Now, again, you need to do your own research, but generally speaking, a transfer is almost always the simplest way to get out of a timeshare. Why? Because when you pay that money to transfer, it's gone. The timeshare is just gone. I mean, there's nothing else to it, okay? And so, generally speaking, it is the best solution. It is what we do here at Free From Vacation Fees. Let me type that out for you, .com. If you're watching on the site, you can simply fill out the contact form below. Again, my name is Jason, and you can fill out that form below, and we'll give you a contact back. It's what we do here. And almost always, again, I want to stress, you will recoup no money. This is not a money-making solution. Again, let me write that out. You will not make any money doing this. It is not that. This is not selling. You're not going to make any money. But you're not going to lose any more money either. You will pay an upfront fee to get out, and then you're going to get out of your maintenance fees. Okay? And isn't that what you really want? The number one scam you can believe is to believe that you are going to be able to sell your timeshare. And you're going to pay a listing fee, and you're going to wind up paying maintenance fees for years on out, and it's still not going to sell. So the smart owners just realize that's not going to happen, and they just go about a way to get out, which is typically through a simple transfer. If you found the video useful, click the like button below. All that's going to do is help other people to find it. If you want more information on transfer, certainly we are not lawyers. We do not provide legal advice. Do your own research. But it is what we do here at freefromvacationfees.com. So contact us if you want below. Enter the information. We can't help you unless you enter your information on the contact form. We will call you back promptly at the time you specify, and we are great listeners, but we'll just explain the solution. No strings attached.